Okay, everybody. So, welcome back. This is Ian from Mindful Marketplace. I'm recording this on the 20th of December, 2022. And ostensibly, if you're watching this, you are either in our course community for web designers, digital media brands, online agencies who are looking to get more clients in 2023, or you may be watching this on YouTube, in which case this may be a little bit more difficult to follow. But essentially, the underlying ethos or approach here is that we are using education marketing to empower our clients, our audience, showing them how to do things online that will help them build their brands and build their businesses in a pretty altruistic way. So we're not selling anything, we're teaching things with the expectation that a small percentage of our audience will want to hire us to have this service done for them rather than doing it themselves, because let's be honest, most of them can't do it for themselves. If they're realtors or CPAs or doctors or therapists or psychic mediums or sushi restaurants or pizzerias, and you're teaching them how to create a great landing page for social media using something like Card or WordPress, and embedding local Yelp testimonials and reviews using a external software like testimonials.to, you are essentially giving folks this really great, kind of solution that will no doubt build their brand and business in a very obvious way, right? It's much better to have a landing page featuring 100 testimonials or 100 local pizza reviews of your spot if you're selling pizza in the community than it is to drive traffic to a PDF menu or a DoorDash listing, etc. Right? But rather than selling people on a service, like reaching out and being like, "Hey, Joe's Pizza, my name's Ian, and I want to sell you this." Instead, what you're doing is teaching them how to do this for themselves, with the expectation, of course, that they largely can't do it themselves. And even if they have a designer or developer or a web person in their orbit already, they're going to be clicking on your affiliate links to actually sign up for the services that you are demonstrating as part of the course. So that's the overarching ethos of this whole entire sort of, the thinking that goes behind the education marketing approach to selling services. And again, you're always expecting that only a small percentage of your audience actually takes you up on any offer at all, but you don't need that many people to actually either hire you or click on your affiliate links, within your course community, to start making a real significant and substantial income. Not to count, of course, how many folks are going to just look at you as the local thought leader, the guru, the influencer, the person who is empowering them through service, information, and opportunity with respect to building their brands and businesses in an altruistic way. All right. So, with all that out of the way, and I only record that for people who are kind of new to this process, many folks in our new cohort have asked about my recommendations for picking an LMS platform or course community. It's an important part of the process. If you're going to teach something, you actually have to have some sort of ecosystem by which you can teach, right? So here are some of the common ones and popular ones that I've used or have recommended to others in my entrepreneurial orbit with a lot of success. There's a PDF actually of this as well in the community, and each of these have links that you can access. But if you're just watching this publicly on YouTube, here are some recommendations, and I will also caveat some of this with some really sort of recency with respect to news in this industry. So again, if I didn't say this already, it's the 20th of December, and our course just launched today. Hence, I'm recording this today. All right. So I really recommend, to do this really well, you want to have a platform that has some sort of ability to deliver cohorts or some sort of immersive experience for your audience where they can interact with you, they can interact with each other, and they can ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. So the best way of doing that is something like Circle, which allows you to build a community, a cohort, a group of folks traveling through a path together with respect to learning, some sort of strategy or system or that sort of approach. There's something called Heartbeat, which is similar to Circle. I've used both of these, Circle for sure, for a long time since they launched. Heartbeat, I don't use currently, but I've tested their platform since pretty much they launched, and they have also they have inbuilt courses and cohorts and an app-based experience that allows your students, your potential clients, to interact with each other, interact with you, ask questions, complete steps, all that stuff that you would want in a course community. All right, so, and these are very community oriented rather than static course oriented. In other words, they have cohorts and interactivity between members and subscribers and students and you as the thought leader, as the community leader, as the teacher, and as the service provider, ultimately, because you're selling a service, right? So finally, what I'd recommend here, and this is really important with respect to things that are happening right now in the online sort of digital download, e-commerce, LMS course space. The big news was a couple days ago, Gumroad, which we're actually using for the current course cohort. For those of you who've signed up, are ready to join us on the 20th of December for digital media brands, web designers, and online agencies. We're actually delivering this on Gumroad, so you can see a good example of what that looks like. But the news has been that Gumroad has changed its fee structure from like a sort of a staggered structure, 3%, 5%, then like 9%, to an across the board 10% fee structure where Gumroad takes 10% of all your transactions, which in a certain respect has been quite shocking to many folks who sell content on Gumroad online. If you're making, let's say, $100,000 a year and you were paying 3%, a week ago, right? That's $3,000. And per January 23rd, I think, or the 31st, when this new fee structure takes a hold, you'll be paying $10,000 in fees. And that doesn't include like payment processing fees, which can be another, 3.5%, 2.9%. So you can really start to see where, picking the right platform is really important from the standpoint of fees. So you may want to consider, depending on your goals, and I'm going to make an important point here in a second, you may want to pick a platform that charges no fees, but charges a monthly fee. Let me restate that. Charges no fees on transactions, but charges a monthly fee for the software itself. Podia is a good example of that. So Podia actually charges anywhere from 39 to like $89 a month for the software itself, but they don't charge any fees. You do pay the credit card transaction fees, but Podia themselves doesn't make their money from fees. Gumroad charges nothing for the software. So you can get started today selling whatever you want, and they're not going to charge you anything. But every time you make a dollar, they're going to make 10% of that going forward. I mean, again, right now it's 3% to like 9% of the fees they charge. But in the future, a month from now, it's going to be 10% for everybody. So the other piece, we use Pathright. Pathright charges no fees. We pay no fees. But they do charge, it can be quite a hefty amount to use their LMS software on a monthly basis. But here's the caveat to this. If you're giving away free courses, which is kind of the approach that we're teaching here in this particular series of steps, giving away a free course that educates and empowers your ideal audience with a specific step by step strategy that achieves an end goal or ultimate objective that they really want, right? So your client really wants that great looking landing page that features all of their local testimonials, all of their homes that have been sold, and the happy buyers who are on video talking about that realtor or that CPA or that financial advisor or that psychic medium or that sushi, role that is the best in Cleveland or Kansas or Kentucky or whatever. I mean, that end objective, if you're teaching that and demonstrating that for free on Gumroad, you're not charging anything, well, then Gumroad all of a sudden becomes pretty attractive because you don't have to pay anything to use their software. So you can teach the course without paying anything because you're not actually charging your clients anything. You're making your money when folks hire you to do the actual thing that you're demonstrating, and or affiliate commissions that you're earning from the recommendations that you make in the course. All right, so all this is something that you have to figure out for yourself. If you're part of our course, I can help you make this decision. So simply reach out to me within the course itself, and I'm happy to advise. But otherwise, you have to choose what makes the most sense to you. Circle, for an example, again, another example of a great community-based, cohort-based community for courses, but they charge anywhere from 79. Actually, I think on the low end for courses, it's 99 now, and it can run up to $399 or even above, depending on how many courses you have, how much content you have, how many members you have, etc. I mean, all this changes pretty frequently. These platforms change their fee structures, their restrictions on how many members, courses, etc. So you have to check all that out in real time to get a true accounting of which one of these is the best for you. I'm going to cover some other options here for folks in our, in our specific cohort. So I'm not going to do this on YouTube because it gets just too long and complex. But the other option that I really recommend if you're teaching courses, I'm going to give you two options. One is Ghost, and Ghost is just a phenomenal platform for publishing content. You have all the SEO benefits if you're publishing this stuff in a live way, which generally an LMS doesn't give you. So Ghost is more like a membership style site that has a blog and a community and all that sort of thing. They now have native comments, so you can really have a member-driven interactive ecosystem where your members are asking questions, they're interacting with each other. I mean, comments on Ghost are really a recent development, and it's just turned Ghost into a viable kind of alternative, not 100%, but quite close to a viable alternative to something like a Circle or a Heartbeat or even a BuddyPress / BuddyBoss. And the last option I'm going to also recommend is now, this is a service that we use and pay for on our platform, and it's very different than the rest of these. It's a private audio course community, so you can actually create private feeds that are podcasts ostensibly, but they are private to your clients, your community, and you can teach things in you can use audio to create these listen on the go, bingeable kind of episodes or courses where people can learn an exact step-by-step sequence of steps or process. And this is ideal for those of you who don't like to record content, using video, but really like podcasting or like audio content and want to teach your audience how to do things using an audio stream, a private audio feed, which is quite a sophisticated thing for most folks, right? If you're creating private audios that are exclusive to your local community or your niche neighbors or your professional peers, people are this is like a new idea to most folks. So you look like you have a really good sense of what you're doing. It makes you look like an expert, and it's really quite cool. The technology, you can take payments on Hello Audio, you can send emails and do all sorts of other things as well. And it's not quite the same as some of these other solutions. It doesn't really have the community feel. It doesn't have like an interactive, sort of ecosystem where folks are interacting with you and each other. It's all delivered via podcasting apps in a privatized way, but it's really a great solution for folks in our audience who want to do this process but kind of are reluctant to do video courses or record video content. So that's pretty much the state of my recommendations for today, the 20th of December. Again, if you're in our course, feel free to ask for my advice on any of these and tell me your situation, and I'm happy to advise. But if you're not and you're watching this just for free on YouTube, take a look at some of these options and pick one that's good for you. Okie doke. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.